Okay, welcome to Pat's Cast, a proud member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And this is our episode for September 15th, 2019.
Hi, I'm Darren DuPont. You're listening to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast with Matt and Chris.
We want to preface that SAS Podcast Network. We mentioned it last week, but we didn't really say anything about it. It cropped up over the summer, and it was the founder of that came to us and talked about it, and it was something I was thinking about over the last while, but I didn't really have the time or energy to get into it. But he contacted us, and he's put in some effort, a lot of effort into it actually. His name's Dale. He does Talking 306, and have you listened to any of his?
I've listened to a couple.
Yeah, so it's quite good. If you're looking for some other things to listen to, I think there's a Rider one, there's the Rebellion one on there. Head over to saskpodcastnetwork.com and take a look and see if there's anything else that interests you. For us, we're going to get into, why don't we start off with that Friday the 13th game? Bit of a nightmare at the Brant. Well, I wouldn't say nightmare. It was a little ugly. It wasn't totally fantastic. Some ugly passes, a bit of sloppy play, certainly some power play concerns coming out of that game.
Yeah, we looked just off. Like it was, I don't know if they haven't been working on it. I mean, like PA's power play looked a lot better than ours did.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what. I mean, they're obviously working on it, but it just wasn't clicking at all. Power
play looked rough. The couple other games we saw too, but Medicine Hats and even the Saskatoon game, not too impressive.
Something they got to really work on here.
And who knows if they're just giving guys shots and trying to get them on the power play and get some exposure to it, but I don't know, nothing didn't look too promising in that game. Some bright spots though. Let's I was really impressed with McGinley coming back.
First game back
from injury, and he was out there playing, like throwing his body around too.
And
wasn't something we saw a lot of him last year doing that. This was kind of something, a little bit of a different style for him. It was kind of neat actually. I liked it.
He made some good plays in neutral zone, stepping up at the blue line, causing some turnovers. Throwing his weight around. I was impressed with him.
And Holt, he had 2 assists, nearly had that goal. Wasn't that him that had that? Almost had that goal or another assist. Either way, he was in on both our goals.
He looked good out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the 320s together in the Medicine Hat game, and you could tell that there was a definite skill level.
Yeah.
Like they dominated the play, they controlled the play in the offensive zone. They looked good out there. They kind of split it up a bit in the PA game.
Yeah.
But because they had Dubinsky up there on the top line with Pratt and Holt.
Yeah.
So, just trying to work guys in. But, I mean, it is preseason. I mean, and we're working on these things. It's not going to, we're not going to be winning a whole ton of games, but, we got to work on this and get that power play going because it struggled last year.
It did.
Penalty kill really struggled last year. The penalty kill didn't look terrible so far, I don't think.
Not as bad as it did last year.
To start.
Last year was
I don't remember the
horrendous.
preseason, but in the regular season it was bad.
Yeah. It started getting a little bit better near the end of the year, but it started off horrid. Just horrid. So we're down to, what did we figure? They need one more cut,
I think.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the Paulus cut.
Yeah. I was too. Yeah.
I mean, he looked good from what a little bit I've seen of him. I really liked him out there.
He looked really good in camp, and carried it into preseason. I thought he had a few points throughout his games that he played, but yeah, sent back to Humboldt. So I mean, it's not saying we won't see him again this season. Just not to start the year.
No, yeah, I'm sure he'll be back at some point if there's an injury or whatever happens. He'll be one of the first forwards called up. Depends who this last cut is, if it's a forward or a D or what.
Well, let's get into who's your prediction.
Oh, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Johnson.
Yeah.
He's 6-year-old D-man. You know, like, we didn't get to see him here in the PA game. We were both a little disappointed in that.
I was hoping to see him.
So I don't know if they've made their decision on him and they didn't want to see him. They wanted somebody else. I mean, McGinley was back, so good to see him back in the lineup. So, But, I mean,
I'm leaning towards Englot. Just maybe the lack of, we haven't got to see him. And to be frank, the one game we did get to see him, I think all he did was get 2 penalties.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little unfair because, I mean, but they've been practicing, obviously, because they wouldn't have thrown him right into game action without some practicing.
Right.
So they've seen that. Maybe Blake Allen, I don't know what he's brought. And then you look at Stanek. I mean, he looks all right. But again, he's 16. I don't know. Like they've actually got some depth this year, like we were saying earlier at the game. Dubinsky was playing most of the year last year because we needed him.
Yeah.
But we've got some depth of forwards this year, and we don't have to play a 16-year-old for the whole season. So one of those, 3 forwards and 1 D, I think. So it's
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think if I was going to pick, I would. My guess is Englot, but what do I know?
Yeah, and it's not like it's a big deal. Like, you cut a guy, you can always bring him back.
It's true. It's not like they're put on waivers. Yeah. Some other teams.
He'll go play some SJ or whatever.
Is this your active
roster?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They've got all these quote unquote cuts are happening, and then they're reassigning to teams. Well, they're just going back to where they would have played. Who holds their junior rates, or if they're going back to midget AAA, the real young guys. So, and the team doesn't pick where they go. The player has, if he's playing midget AAA, he'll go back to his local team, and if he's going to junior A, whoever has his rights there, go there. So the team doesn't say where they go.
Right. Some news that came out, I think it was yesterday. The leadership group was announced. I was kind of hoping to talk about it and make our predictions before it came out, but here we are. So we had, I don't think this is a surprise, but Pratt wearing the C.
No, not at all.
Seems.
I thought for sure he would get it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else that deserves it right now.
There was in the Pat's Hot Takes Facebook group. There's a lot of people that thought maybe Holmes would get it. There's a lot of votes for him.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I thought he'd get an A.
Yeah, so that brings us to the alternate captains, Walker.
Yeah, no surprise there.
You're surprised with that?
No surprise.
No
there.
surprise. No, neither am I. I think, I mean, hasn't been here that long, but
I think he showed his leadership on the ice. You can really,
I agree. Even from a fan's perspective, we can see it.
Like, and you don't know what goes on in the room and behind the scenes, so you don't really know.
Right, which brings us to the next two. Exactly on that point, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. So these next two, Nyhoff and Setoff, both not bad, but a little bit surprising. I would say.
I threw out Nyhoff. I thought maybe he's a little younger, but you bring along a younger guy. Setoff, maybe a little surprising. Being an import, maybe they don't get the respect from the fans as being a leader. You never know. But I know the first game he played, when he got back in the first home game, you could hear him. He was on the ice. He was very vocal on the ice.
You're right. And it's not so much that maybe he should or shouldn't have it. It's that I think we all expected Robbie Holmes to get one.
Yeah. I thought so.
He was drafted by the Pats, played here multiple years.
Yeah.
Sent him away last year.
A little stint in Everett.
Yeah, a little rental out to Everett, but ended up back with us. So I was a little surprised not to see that.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's not in the lineup. Maybe he'll be wearing it. You never know.
Yeah, no, I was kind of hoping to get that as a discussion, but they got it out before we had a chance to do that. So what I did get out to everyone was asking who people thought the tough guy was, and part of the question too was if there's still a place, a roster spot for that type of player on the team. Last year we had, I thought Scott Mahovlich was our
he really likes to check him.
But he was still, and we were actually quite surprised by some of his talent that he displayed as well. He's still a good
hockey player. Yeah.
Yeah, like
definitely.
I think he was third line player or so, and he was well suited to that role, but he could still chuck him if he had to. Yeah, so who do you think?
Who I think Walker, definitely. And Dubinsky's obviously shown that he's willing to fight, but I don't think. He does like to run around and throw some hits. Like he's not shy at doing that.
I think he'll draw the fight because of how he plays.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that he'll be out there,
but he'll won't shy away from accepting the fight, right?
No, but he doesn't seem like the guy.
He stand up
that
for
gets
another teammate,
tapped on the shoulder, and
yeah.
Okay,
I don't think that really happens much anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, somebody gets run or whatever, or it's a big hit, and somebody feels the need to step up. Maybe Walker, like he's a big tough guy. Like,
yeah,
you mean like strong, and he'll stand up for somebody.
Yeah. I think that was the information we were getting back from putting that question out was Walker was identified in Dubinsky. One of the guys I think maybe is Crane.
Yeah, he's fought a couple times.
Crane, who he had the most penalty minutes on the team last year.
Did
you
really?
know that?
No, I didn't.
And for a bit of trivia, I'll let you think about it while I go over my next point here, but who had the most PIMs in the WHL last year? So I'll give you a second.
Okay. Put me on the spot here.
Yeah. No, you got a little bit to...
Yeah, okay.
So as we're a member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network, we are supported by Connexus. Does money spark joy in your life or cause you stress?
Well, if I have some, it sparks joy, yeah.
A little. If you have it, it's joyful.
Yeah,
but
if you don't.
If you said stress, you're not alone. For 42% of Canadians, the biggest stressor comes from money. Mine today was fantasy football and the Seahawks, but pulled out both of those, so I guess I'm back down to money. So at Connexus, they care about your financial well-being. Money doesn't have to be stressful, and Connexus is here to help. The Connexus Money Talk blog provides expert advice, tips, and solutions for all life's stages and events. Getting married, buying a house, budgeting, saving, they'll cover it all. Did I mention it's free? Not getting married. That is not free.
No, not at all. I'm looking at that soon.
It is not cheap. Yeah. You can do it okay, though. Anyways, check it out at connexusmoneytalk.ca and start feeling confident and stress-free about your money. Okay, so you had some time to think?
Yeah. Since you brought it up, but I was like, well, maybe it's a Pat, maybe somebody in the division. I'm going to go with Mahovlich.
You know what? I didn't write down how much. He was surprisingly low with the Pats. I think in the 40s.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he had with Coltrane Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Once I saw his name, I was like, oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Lethbridge D-man, I think it was.
He was dirty. I remember watching. He had some dirty plays. Who do you think's top PIMs this year?
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm saying Dubinsky.
Dubinsky, yeah. Maybe Crane again.
Could be. Yeah. How about top scorer? So last year was Pratt.
That's a safe bet again, but I mean, I think Holt can really. I think he's got a little more skill than Pratt, even though he doesn't have the numbers.
That's what I had written down too. I had Pratt as just because, but yeah, I had Holt here after.
And I'd really like to see Cole really push. He's got some talent as well. Mm-hmm. He's got some skill, It just hasn't translated like Holt. But Holt is really coming off a good playoff run with Vancouver. He scored more goals in the playoffs than he did in the
Yeah.
regular season
Yeah.
with Vancouver. So that's encouraging. And he's going to be playing top line minutes. Like he'll be playing first line
think so.
minutes, first line power play, stuff like that. He's going to be playing with Pratt and Cole
Yeah.
and Holmes.
And he was singled out individually in that letter in the season
Season
ticket
ticket
packet.
holder, yes.
So Paddock
Is
must be quite high on him and
Yeah.
happy to have him, and to specifically name him. And there's a little letter in the season ticket package from John. It wasn't personalized, right?
No.
But
just
it was-
just a thank you for
Yeah,
the fans
yeah.
and talk about the little blurb about the season and what he expects. You
Yeah.
know, he expects the team to compete night in and night out, and I don't think you can ask for much more than that. Yeah, we're still going to be lacking on the skill side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe not as bad as last year, but him and the coaching staff expect hard work every night.
Yeah.
And Stooch preaches that.
Yeah.
He talks about that post game all the time.
Yeah, and well, so that kind of leads into the season ticket package came in. Kind of a nice little keepsakes there, a couple pucks. And not like the gold coin that Saskatoon got.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
Yeah, that was nice. But are you disappointed? I mean, they've moved away from tickets, right? It's all the cards now.
Well, and it said in there they're moving away from paper totally, the Brand Center and the Pats, starting in 2020. They're moving. You
So
can't even.
you can't print it.
You can't print. You know how people walking in with their sheet of paper.
Yeah,
None of that, I guess. So I mean, I don't mind the card. Yeah, I know some people still like looking at the books and having a physical ticket.
yeah,
And whatever design on it or a player, and each ticket's different. Ticket book.
yeah. It was kind of a memento or something. I
Yeah.
think now that it's so easy to transfer tickets, because that might have been the argument was, well, you can't. It's hard to transfer and this and that.
Yeah, and it's so.
Now it's free.
It's easy to transfer. You
super
just
easy.
Send the barcode, screenshot it, send a barcode,
Yeah,
and boom.
you don't have
everybody
to
has-
use the Ticketmaster send. You just take a screenshot and send
Yeah,
it.
that's all
yeah.
I've done for the preseason and stuff.
Yeah.
Just sending friends.
As long as they can, and I guess we ran into it with the preseason tickets because it's like a block of
Yeah.
general admission, but
12 tickets.
and they didn't show which ones you had scanned. So at the
Yeah.
last game, I was standing there and I started at 1 and she's like, okay, just keep going. And it wasn't until 10. Luckily there was no one behind me, but
Yeah, they just need to let us know which ones we've used.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't mind the barcode and just sending it around. And if you forget your ticket, boom, you just open up your account on your phone, and you can get in either way.
Yeah. So that's good for home games. Let's talk about away games. We still don't have anything from WHL Live.
Now,
I-
everybody's asking about it now. It's like it's the week of the regular season.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's getting down to it. I think I forget where I saw it. It might have been I was perusing Facebook a little bit, and someone had looked back at when they were charged their credit card, and it was a few weeks, like last year, right?
Yeah.
The difference. So I remember last year though. I think OHL's was up a little bit earlier, so I went and looked at Q
Oh,
and
yeah.
O, and they're both
Still nothing.
still nothing. So.
They're just delaying the sticker price shock.
I guess there's no early bird.
Yeah, I guess not.
Unless early birds, like you have to decide within 4 days or whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
I hope it's something. Well, no, there was that interview. With,
Yeah.
What's his name? There
The
is
commissioners.
something.
Yeah, it's going to be New Lion / Endeavor again.
Yeah.
One more year. We thought it was this last year was it, but no, I guess one more year.
I would
So-
expect same price point.
Yeah, I wouldn't see much difference.
Which was what was it?
One team away was $100 pretty much.
Was it? I thought it was more.
I
Maybe
c-
not.
I think maybe the early bird was 100 and some, a little bit.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it last time was the AHL package
Ooh,
for theirs, $100 US. So I guess you
130
could say 130. But that's every game
every regular season game.
and every playoff game
Yeah,
for every team.
every single game the HL plays for $130.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And I think a better platform
Yeah, I think so.
than that. One of the faults I have with this WHL Live 2 is I have those Amazon sticks,
Fire Stick.
and it's not like an app you can download on it. So I have to if I could do that, it'd be fantastic. But instead I have to put it on my computer,
Yeah, go to the
HDMI it,
internet.
and it's just like we've talked, our computers are getting a little long in the tooth. They're pretty shitty, and
If you could
doing anything as a stream, and that just adds to it.
I tried to put it on the Android box. I put the app on the Android box, and I haven't really tried to figure out. It's so hard because I don't have a mouse or a keyboard, so it's really for my Android box. I just have a regular remote.
Well, if there is a way, because you can do a lot with those Amazon sticks, like
it's
kind of circumnavigating
some
of their rule. If somebody knows how to get on that would be freaking fantastic, because I am just about done trying to hook up HDMI cords and stuff. So let's get into this season. I should say that with a little more enthusiasm. Let's get into this season. Here it is. It's here.
Back.
It's back. Let's do it. We are back with, and I hope this season gets this going too. Is this Moose Jaw rivalry again? We lost our buds there over in Swifty. We don't get to see them as much. I think it's ripe now to get this Moose Jaw rivalry going, and nothing better to do it than a Moose Jaw home and home. Friday, Saturday. Nothing better than that. Hopefully, I mean, this is when I think of the Pats. I remember when I went with my dad, and it must have been early to mid 90s, and those Moose Jaw games were just rank, just ugly. And I worked in Moose Jaw for a while, and I worked there for 3 years, and God, I just still don't like that place.
Well, okay, so I think I might have talked about it in an earlier show. I can't remember, but I went to the Red Sox Moose Jaw game, playoff game in Moose Jaw, and the fans there were disgusting. I was just like, okay, it's not just the hockey fans, it's the town. I just painted the town now. I'm just like, no, these guys are a bunch of clowns. Like, they were yelling at the pitcher and profanity, like when he was pitching, and I was just like, oh my God. And I even heard the players were just they were rattled. Like, I mean, they're just a little bit older than the hockey players. They're college, so 18 to 22.
Yeah. And there was that story of Jesse Gabriel. I think when he was hurt, so this is recently.
Oh, right. And there was something that happened.
Someone tried to get at him. Like, God.
Yeah. Moose Jaw, I don't have much respect for
You're going
Moose
to
Jaw.
one.
Yeah, I'm going. I'll be there.
That October
6th. October 6th, the away game. 3-3. So I'm going to be in PA on the 5th for the road game, and I'm going to be in Moose Jaw on the 6th for the road game. Yeah, doing a little.
Isn't it on the
tour?
8th?
No, because we're doing 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I'm looking at September.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it's the 6th in Moose Jaw. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be at the road game. So I catch 2 road games. I missed the home game on the Friday.
Right.
But
that's a cool experience to do that.
Yeah, a couple of guys I know coming out from Ontario, do a little arena tour here. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But back to Moose Jaw, a little bit of connection now so they picked up Jaden Joseph recently.
Yeah, looks like they had a couple open 20 spots.
Yeah.
They addressed their goalie debacle.
Yeah, boy.
They were, I mean, they were going to pick up somebody. So they picked up Bailey Birkin, 20-year-old. So he'll solidify the net there. Till their younger guy, Ivanov, comes back from hip surgery. That's probably, it's got to be late end of the year. Calendar year, December, January maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because he just had surgery just recently. So I obviously don't know what kind of surgery and what extent the rehab will be, but that's nothing to shake a stick at. Hip. I
wonder, if it's a younger guy, and a goaltender. My guess is it's probably he had a hip scope. He had a torn labrum or something. That our kicker from Saskatchewan had that too. Krapinga, I think it was. Anyways.
Yeah, that's your alley up there.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of those. So I that would be my guess. A younger male like that, if he's having hip problems, So it's kind of like having a shoulder, really. It's
Yeah.
similar
Torn
anatomy.
labrum,
And
shoulder,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So you think about who did we have? Nick Henry had that, did he not?
I think Puto had similar.
Yeah. So they
Wagner
were,
maybe.
but they had. I don't know when he had his, but those other guys had them earlier in the year,
Like right after the season.
and they still didn't come back till
Well, yeah, they were
November.
October, November.
Yeah,
And then it took him a while to get back
Yeah.
into game shape.
and a
right?
goaltender. I mean, you have that
Side to side, all the leg movement, right?
Yeesh.
So
I don't know, he'd be lucky to
play this year? Yeah.
is my guess.
Oh, okay.
If that, I have no idea
Yeah,
what he
right.
had. I'm just totally guessing. But yeah, that's it for the week. Is the two games, the home and home with Moose Jaw. Excited to get those going and get some bad blood, I think.
Well,
right
and
off
one
the
thing,
start.
what's not gonna happen in those games is Jet Wu causing something, since he got shipped out to Calgary.
Yeah.
So-
I'm not sad to
See him go.
He was probably from last year. He was the one I disliked the most, I think. Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be another guy to fill his
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
We'll find somebody new to rag on.
They will find someone, but it's funny because they probably hate us just as much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I imagine who's there? Probably Dubinsky
Yeah,
is there.
because we went to the one game. He was
Uh-huh.
he was chirping. I remember.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll do that again this year.
We'll see what happens. We should maybe get to another one. Like I'll go to one, but maybe we should maybe get to one there. Just
It
to
was
go.
fun.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was a good night.
Even if it's a Sunday, like that October 6th is good because you could just go there for the day and come back. You don't have to do anything crazy.
And maybe they won't be so vile like a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, because it was Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a little ugly.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to touch on tonight?
I don't think so. Team-wise, I don't know. I think we're good.
When we look through it, it's a lot of the roster is basically last year's.
Yeah, with a couple new guys, right?
Just a couple here and there, but it's a good core, and it's not a whole lot of changes to talk about, I guess. Just looking for that continuous improvement and hard work, and I think they'll get rewarded with a few more games this year. It'd be nice to stay out of the box. I think our PK is still going to struggle.
Yeah, the back end, we've only got one 19 or 20 D-man.
Yeah.
And last year we started with 320s,
Yeah.
and it still struggled. So those 18-year-olds, like Setoff, Evans, Feist, Zonneveld, we're going to be relying on those guys heavily. I mean, they got a lot of ice last year, but,
So speaking of set off, my hopefully not a bold prediction is he gets a goal this year.
Yeah. If he does get a goal this year, I'll be surprised, I think.
That was an interesting stat from last year too. Is set off, I think he had 17 or 19 assists, 0 goals.
Yeah.
0.
Not one.
And it's not like he's a at-home, stay-at-home defenseman that has no skill. Like,
Yeah.
he's not your goon, your boogeyman back there or whatever, right? He's
got more skill than Scholler, like the Scholler type, right?
Yeah.
Like he was a stay-at-home guy and he got the odd goal, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, he played every single game last year too.
He did.
That's
That was another
impressive.
statistic. Him and Pratt played the 68 games last
But
year.
I mean, him coming to the WHL, his first season coming out of the States under 17 or whatever he was playing as a 16-year-old, they don't play that many games. And for him to play all 68, I seen that stat today and I was like, oh, I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, you're right. I looked at that. It's almost odd he didn't get a goal somewhere
Yeah.
along the line.
Yeah, like it's the deflection off the opposing stick or something, right?
someone's- One of their sticks.
I'm sure
or-
he'll get a few this year.
Yeah.
I'll go with there.
Yeah.
I'll say
I hope it's at
say
home.
5. I say at least 5 goals this year. I'll just throw it out there.
Okay.
Might as well, right?
Okay, sure. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And hopefully he gets his first at home.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think he'll celebrate it. Those Russians,
Yeah, like
if it's anything like Alkmaar.
Alkmaar, yeah. Pulling out the old bird.
And speaking of Alkmaar, no news on Daniel Gushin yet?
Nah, nothing I've heard suggests he's too interested in coming here at all. I mean, Sedov played with him or knows him, and it's frustrating. Like for us to have that pick, and obviously we've contacted him before.
Yeah.
I'm sure we contacted him before we picked him, and if he would have said zero interest in coming, I don't think we would have picked him.
No.
But who knows what goes on behind the scenes? I mean, and Paddock was 100% on picking all his imports, like we said before, so it wasn't too. This is a bit of a shock, I thought. But yeah, no. Somebody suggests, set off, got an A and all this, and they were talking about Gushin. I'm like, give him the C if you can get him to come. Like,
If Sedov
whatever.
can get him to come,
yeah, give him the C, give him whatever he wants. Like, just.
My
convince
guess
the guy
is
to come.
he's looking at the NCAA route.
Well, we'll see what happens when he'll get drafted this year, and the NHL team may push him one way or the other. Like, maybe the NHL team will have some say in where he goes next year. Like, he'll be 18 next year. So
fair enough.
Like,
Yeah.
we could still get him for 2 more years. You never know. Like, the NHL team, they'll have a lot of say, a lot of weight behind their comments.
But so going back, could we have drafted him and kept Alkimov, or like, can you only have 2?
You can draft. You can have 2 and draft a third one.
Yeah.
If one of your 2 that you have is a first round NHL pick, I believe.
Oh, okay. Because the thought is they might go.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I'm
All
not
right.
too sure.
You know what?
I mean, because
If
an
you
import
could, he probably would have. Like, why would you get rid of him preemptively if you
Yes.
didn't have to?
Yeah. Because say your first round pick, say he's an 18-year-old, he can go play, or is a 19, he can go play in the AHL. Like, he doesn't abide by the North American rules where at 19 it's NHL or CHL.
Okay.
As the import, he can go play in the AHL because they're on loan to the junior team and all this stuff. It's real confusing. But I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but it's something to do with being a first round pick, and you can pick a third guy, and then you can decide.
Okay.
But at least we were able to trade Alkimov this year, unlike 2 years ago where we had to release the D-man. Yeah, that guy. Zamula. We had to release him because he hadn't played the full season. So we just had to straight up release him, and we couldn't trade him.
Yeah.
So at least we were able to trade him. We get Dawson Holt back.
True.
I mean,
True.
that trade right there, straight up, isn't a terrible trade.
Yeah.
We've only got Dawson for the 1 year, but it should be all right. So then, I don't know, next year, then you just hope maybe the NHL team will push Gushin to us and go from there.
Yeah.
So I think Sedov will work out good, I think, this year, and next year he'll be 19. So
Yep. But not holding our breath for this year.
no, I wouldn't think so. He's not. If he hasn't come now, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's wrap it up here. Just remember to, what did you say, rate,
Review and subscribe.
review, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, our numbers are coming up.
yeah.
I mean, when I tweet it out, more people listen. So just hit subscribe on it, and then you'll get everyone. If you like us, help us grow the show. Share it with people you think you will be interested in listening to us, and
Yeah.
we're always open to suggestions.
Yeah. Trying to do a little more snippets for Instagram and Twitter. I know not everyone's totally nerdy enough to sit down and listen to us for every week, talk for about half an hour, but hopefully you guys, if there's other people interested, they'll partake in some of that. Maybe Jay and Dan will boost our...
Yeah. Try to do collaboration with them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they...
We'll pump their tires
Yeah.
a little bit, get
Maybe
them a
they'll
few
pump ours
listeners.
back. Yeah.
It's collaboration, right?
Yeah, what do you think of that night?
Uh,
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Wear some special jersey, and Jane and Dan are going to be there and saying, "Hey, we're Jane
They're
and Dan."
just going to yell at the intermissions
Like
between
everybody else
plays.
does.
Yeah, so
Whew,
I don't
that-
understand what you're going to do.
Yeah, that preseason game was pretty loud. Like, I don't know, because the bodies in the stands weren't there to absorb the sound, but
yeah.
I thought it was
It was
quite loud.
It was a little obnoxious.
Maybe
yeah.
I just wasn't used to it, right?
Yeah.
But
We're just
anyways.
getting old.
Yeah. Man yells at cloud.
What?
Man yells at cloud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we're just the Muppets up there screaming in 213. So if you guys see us and want to come say hi, that'd be great. Otherwise, we'll sign off for tonight, and we'll see you at the rink.
Have a good one.
Good night.